Hey everyone, so this is the Blue View 4 smartphone. This was normally $30. I actually bought mine for only 15 bucks. It is actually not a bad phone, especially considering the price. So let's first take a quick look around here. It does have 32 gigabytes of storage, but you can expand that with a micro SD card, which is something you do not see in more expensive phones these days. So let's take a quick look around here. So you do have your mic, you do have actually USB Type-C, which is pretty sweet on this cheap of a phone. You have your power button, you have your volume rocker, you actually have a headphone jack, which again, some you do not see on more expensive phones, and you do have another mic. Here it will be your SIM card slash your SD card, micro SD card expansion will be in there. You pop that on, open. The back does have a camera, of course, and it does have a flash. And you actually have a backfiring speaker, which is kind of weird. And it is the only speaker that I guess works, for lack of a better word here, works when you are listening to like YouTube or music or whatever. The one up here does not play music, if that makes some sense. And there's not one down here either. You just have this back one. The phone does look pretty cool. It's very different looking. This actually has some grooves in it as well. So I mean, if you're holding onto it, it actually feels pretty good in the hands. And the phone itself actually feels nice and sturdy. It does not actually feel like a cheap phone. It doesn't feel like a phone I'm just going to snap in half. The display, so I actually have this up, the brightness up all the way. It's actually not I wouldn't say it's a bad display for, again, considering this is a $30 phone at normal price. The phone display is actually pretty nice looking. I mean, it's not, even from like side to side, it does get a little bit washed out when you turn side to side. Of course, you're usually looking at it like this. The colors actually pop pretty well. The blacks are actually pretty black. I actually like this display. I've seen worse displays on more expensive devices. So display is not bad. It just does not get very bright. Like I said, this is up all the way. If you're out on a nice bright sunny day, you might not be able to see your display, your screen all that well. But it does look pretty good if you're not outside on a nice bright sunny day. So again, brightness is not there, but the way it looks is actually pretty nice. Let's talk about some speed here. This is actually surprising to me that how quick this actually is. So like we'll go on Pokemon.com here. Because you got to remember throughout this video, this is a $30 at normal price device. That is kind of mind-boggling that they can even make a phone for 30 bucks. So you saw there, Pokemon.com loads in actually rather quick. We'll go into something a little bit more heavy. Go to BestBuy.com here. And see, I mean, again, I did not clear out my history because you don't usually clear your history unless you're looking up stuff. You don't want other people to see you that you've looked up. So for normal use, you don't usually clear your history. We'll go into the Galaxy phones because it is Cyber Monday weekend or Black Friday weekend or whatever you want to call this weekend. It's the 25th of November. So, yes, or 26th of November, wherever today is. So, see there, this actually loads in pretty quick. And this is, again, a little bit more of an intensive website than, say, Pokemon.com is. So this is going to take a little bit longer to load in. And that is just how it is on pretty much any device when you're comparing to something more basic like Pokemon.com or something a little bit more easy like Pokemon.com. But you can see here, it still loads in actually rather quick. Again, like I'm rather surprised with how decently quick this phone is for a $30 device. Let's talk a little bit about gaming. In particular, let's talk about Roblox here, as I feel like people might buy this for their kids, for a first-time phone or something like that. Again, I'm surprised that this actually works pretty well. It doesn't kick you out of it, which is a good thing. Maybe if you play for too long, maybe it will. But I've had, again, more expensive devices in the past, namely tablets, that have, you try to play a game on here, depending on the game, not all games, but some games will just kick you out of it. On here, I have not had that issue. So we're just in automatic graphics, which is probably going to put it into those graphics settings. And so this is a less graphically intensive game on Roblox. And we can see we're moving the screen back and forth. This plays it. Actually plays it very well. And it looks good too. Something a lot more graphically intensive like the Strongest Battlegrounds here. Again, same same graphics settings, which is just automatic. You can see this is going to lag out. So games like this, you're probably not going to enjoy playing very well. Especially more people that are on the stream, more things are going on. I mean, this isn't a whole lot of stuff going on right now. And there is a lot of lag. So more intensive games, more graphically intensive games, I would say you're probably not going to be able to play on this device. But the less graphically intensive games on Roblox should have no problems. Then I'm going to show off the speaker on here. But first, I just want to show on that certain apps are going to be a little bit more. They're just not going to scroll. Well, now it's running actually pretty well. But depending on what app you're on, some things are going to slow this device down. So I mean, this is actually working pretty well right now. But at times there are times where it will just have kind of lag spikes when you're trying to scroll through things, and it goes for websites as well, depending on what you're on. But again, for a $3 device, it is actually rather good. Alright, so here is some royalty-free music. Again, the speaker is on the back. It's this little tiny guy right here. So if this is facing on something or is laying on something, so it's over here, some on these sides, on the back, it's not going to be that loud. So this is up all the way. And we'll just go ahead and do this, and you can see it does actually go throughout the video actually pretty quick there. So again, the speaker is right here, my back finger is, so you can definitely muffle it up pretty easy. On something that kind of gets muffled like this, it isn't terrible again. And this display looks actually rather good. I want to say that this display looks rather good. So I mean, it actually is rather loud. And again, display looks rather nice. This display is actually rather nice. It does get rather loud, especially for only being one speaker, but again, it is on the back, and you might have your finger. Again, it's right here, so you might actually be like this and have your finger over it, so you gotta make sure your finger's not over it. And then if it's laying on something, it's gonna be a little bit muffled. But for a $3 device, it's not bad. Last, let's talk about the camera. It's not great. I mean, it's a camera. That's really about it. It's a camera. So it does have, of course, photo, video. It does have a few other modes here. It does have actually double click to take picture. It'll take a second to try and focus in. Then it will take a picture. If we go into the picture, again, the pictures all look a little bit blurry. They're not very good. You know, it does try to focus in. Again, for just taking random pictures, it's probably okay for a lot of people. I always don't mind a little bit of blurriness. It does have Google Lens on here, so if we hit Google Lens, it will try and identify whatever you took a picture of. It actually works rather fast. It knew that it is a microfiber, whatchamacallit there, reg, there. So yeah, I mean, it works. Again, this is not going to take any world-class pictures by any means. Again, it's a $30 device, so you can't really expect it to. Oh no, $30 device, if you need just a device and you just need a smartphone, you just need a phone that does basic stuff, this thing is actually really good. It is missing NFC, so you cannot tap to pay with anything with this phone. And it does not have wireless charging, which are two things that you're not going to get on this cheap of a phone. But all in all, for what this phone is, I think it is actually rather good. You just have to know what you're getting into. It's not going to be as good as, say, a $1,000 phone, of course. It's not going to be as good as, say, a $600 phone. But for a $30 phone, I actually would recommend it if you just need a basic phone. Y'all let me know what you think. Thank you all for watching. Have a good one. Goodbye.